Hi guys, my name is Zin and this is the Canadian winter. Today we're going to start with the outside just for a small update. As you can see, there's snow everywhere, and most of this snow came in one night, one day. There was about half a meter of snow, and the fence is like all buried. This area here, see how this is where the bench used to be. Oh, my dog. And you know, it's been cold every single day, so none of the snow has melted. Some of this has blown off, but all my trees, you can see you can see this where my pre-bonsai garden is. Most of the trees are buried. You know, it's a lot of snow over there. It's the same thing, everything's buried, which is good for the trees because snow provides quite good insulation. The bad thing is that there might be critters, and now they can, you know, basically walk on top of the snow and chew off the top of the trees. But as you can see, there isn't anything here right now because I think the snow is too high. They can't even get into the backyard because it's all covered. So yeah, that's the situation we have here right now. It's about minus 14 degrees at the moment, really cold. It's been like that for the last 2 weeks. Every day is minus, 10 or more, sometimes minus 20. So yeah, let's head back inside because it's really cold. All right, we're back upstairs in the warmth. So we'll start with the trees that we did last time, just as a refresher. So this is the silk tree that I cut back due to insect problems, and I have not seen any other bugs afterwards. So I think the insect problem is gone, and the tree is still alive. There's a little bit of there's a couple of bugs just popped out in the last few days. So we'll take a closer look at that. Okay, so hopefully the focus is there, but you can see that there is a green bud right there, and then there's a bud coming out at the bottom as well. So hopefully those develops, and I'm glad to see that the tree is not dead. So that's great. We'll move on to the next one. So next up is the shame plant. This tree, I don't know what's going on with it, because while you can see the trunk is still green, the bark of the tree is still green, but there's no buds anywhere that I can see. There's also no insects anywhere also, which is good, but I'm not sure if this tree is going to make it. I've been watering it when the soil gets dry, so I'm doing everything I can to hopefully revive it. The other tree also, when I pruned it back, it died, but that was also I pruned the roots, so I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on the tree, and we'll find out, I guess, in a couple of weeks if the tree dies or not. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. So next. So next up we have the Brazilian rain tree. I'm sure you can tell that the tree is alive. A lot of the leaves kind of came out in the last 2 weeks. And but also I think some of the branches might be dying back, like this top one here. There's no buds, and it's kind of getting yellow at the tip there, so that might be dead, but I'm not going to do anything right now. I'll wait until it actually kind of dies, and I'll prune it off. And this branch here, this is kind of getting white on the bark, which I think it could be drying up. Again, I'm not 100% sure, so I won't touch it until it's fully dead. And while there's buds coming out, leaves coming out at the bottom of this main branch here, but there's nothing on the branch itself, so it could be dead. Same with this, where the branch itself is kind of turning a white color, and then there's leaves coming out at the bottom, but not at the top. But I mean, the tip is green, but it's kind of white at the bottom. So I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. But overall, I'm really glad the tree survived the involuntary defoliation. Actually, this here is brown, so I'm going to take this off. But yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with what happened. One, I got rid of the insects, and two, the tree did not die. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this tree grows in the summer. I'll probably repot it from this current soil. This soil doesn't drain as well as I would like it to. Yeah, it you know, it kind of pulls to the top for a couple seconds and then it starts to drain slowly. So we'll see what I can do about that when spring comes. So anyway, I'm not going to do anything to this tree right now. I'll wait probably another month and see if anything comes up. And then if these branches kind of die back or change color, then I'll get rid of those. Okay, next. All right, so this next one I'm kind of ashamed to show because this was the, this had a nice trunk, developed branches. This was the, what do you call it? The willow leaf ficus. And I don't know why, but I thought I could cut the trunk and root it as a cutting. Obviously it didn't root, so now we're left with this. So I cut the entire trunk off. It was about this tall, you know, and it died. It was a really bad mistake that I would never make again. Yeah, you know, that was just, I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest. But the root, you know, sorry, I did it because I didn't want this twirling root, this really strange looking root. I wanted roots to kind of, you know, I cut it where they start to flare, and I wanted that to develop, so I cut where it was, and it died. So yeah, that was a mistake. So what happens now is that you can see there's a ton of small buds now coming out on this side. What originally happened is that on the other side, it started to shoot out buds where in this area, and you can see there's just like hundreds of new buds coming off the trunk or the root stump. And this was a tree that had a lot of scale before, so I went through and I combed it and then got rid of most of them, if not all of them. And apparently the scales has kind of probably infected another tree. I'm not sure if it came from this or not, but on one of my Scheffleras, I discovered a little bit of scale which I kind of cleaned off. But I'm glad that the tree did not die completely, even though it's, you know, basically back to nothing. There's so many buds coming off, so I think I'll just grow it, and we'll see what happens when this grows out. You know, maybe I could just make it a clump style or something like that after I don't know how many years. But yeah, I really like the willow leaf style of the leaves. It's different, it's long, it's kind of drapes. I really like that style. Same as, you know, the Dissectum Japanese maples has kind of the same big leaf, long ones. Even though they're not, you know, they may not be considered really good bonsai material, but it's just what I like. So I'm glad that it's doing well, and you know, bad mistake. Don't make the same mistake as me. If you have something like this, try to air layer that instead of you know, making it a cutting. It was just terrible. I kind of feel really bad. This tree was given to me by Connor, and you know, passed down from whoever. So it was yeah, really sad. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. All right, so next up we have the crown of thorns. This is these are cuttings that Nigel gave me, and I think everything is okay because they have new growth. I've been watering it. You know, some of these flowers came from before that they're starting to wither away now. But overall, I think every cutting, every single one of them is alive. It needs a little bit of watering right now. I've been watering this about once a day or in 2 days or so, depending on how dry it gets. But overall, it's quite good. It continues to flower, and I don't see any signs of dying or, you know, any other problems. So I'm really glad that it survived. I know these guys, you can root them from cuttings in water if you really wanted to. So yeah, that's really good. So that's the update for this crown of thorns. Hopefully everything grows up and I'll have a few of these trees. And here we have the Schefflera. This is the one that I pruned and I repotted into this kind of fancy pot, I guess you can say, but it's kind of a cheaply made pot. And it has been doing well. As you can see, there's these smaller leaves. They're all new leaves. And there are new leaves coming out of each branch. So that's a very good sign. I have not seen any insect problems on this particular tree. It needs watering right now. But you know, it has been growing. It kind of took a few weeks for it to start recovering, but I think it has fully recovered now, so really good. I'm glad to see that. See, everything's growing. And I've been putting this by the window, or near the window I should say, so it has more light than usual. But the Schefflera overall, I think it doesn't have that high of a light requirement anyway, so yeah, that's the update on the Schefflera. And this is the second Schefflera, or the variegated one. This is the one that had scale on it, and I just took them off by hand because it's a small tree. So I just took them off by hand, and I took off a few leaves over in this area. You can probably see the scars because they were kind of not as good. They were indoor leaves. They're really big, really long stems. So I took those off just so it's easier to handle. Yeah, it's nothing. So yeah, I haven't seen signs of more scale, but you know, I think even when they're really small, you can't really see them anyway. So there might still be some on there. I don't know. And I moved this tree. This used to be in the fish tank, so I moved it out because I don't want, you know, in case it spreads or something, that'll be terrible. So I moved that out. I put it near the window by itself, so if anything pops up, I can see and hopefully get rid of. The tree has already kind of started growing after I trimmed the leaves, so which is a good sign. But I am keeping an eye on this every day because I saw the scale that one day. So you know, you want to keep a close eye on it just in case there's more popping up. But yeah, this I put some wires on it. That's why it has the shape that it has right now. You know, the good thing is I took it off, I guess, at the right time because there's no, not really any scars. No, not really any wire scars, which is really good. So yeah, hopefully, you know, I kind of want this leaf to shoot out more leaves or branches or whatever it is, you know, start growing at that point, but it hasn't done anything yet. Even though I pruned these off, I don't see any actions here. Maybe it's too low on the tree or something, I'm not sure. And you know, I see growth on both of the cut points on the other two areas, but not this one. And I don't know if I should prune this off, you know, maybe it would just not grow at all. So yeah, it's a small tree, but I think, you know, it's looking good. Now for the bad news, this Fukien Tea, I'm not really sure what's going on with it. I had this on the table, you know, with everything else, and it was doing fine. It was growing. I can see new growth, and all of a sudden, I don't know why, it just started drying up. You know, all these leaves, they're just like, look at that, they're really brittle. They're pretty much already dried up. They just haven't fallen yet. Which I don't know what's going on with it. I've been watering the tree. You know, I've been doing everything that I do with the other trees, and it just seems to not want to live. And I don't know if this is I don't know, maybe I moved it indoors, that's why it's kind of dying back, or whatever, the light condition changed. I just don't know. I didn't do anything different with it. I watered it, you know. So yeah, I have no idea. I don't think the tree is fully dead. It's just that all the leaves are just not looking alive. So I don't know about the other guys, their Fukien Teas. I heard somebody else had kind of the same problem, but you know, not like this, not this severe. I don't know. So we'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. It could be dead or maybe not, who knows. I don't know. So yeah, bad news. Okay, so this is the Natal plum that I repotted into this little, I think, Japanese pot. And I root pruned it, you know, repotted it, and for a couple of weeks it didn't do anything. It just stayed kind of dormant, recovering. But now it has finally put on some growth. You can see there's a new leaves coming out there. There's a couple branches shooting out from both sides where I cut. And then this big thing here, this whole branch, that whole branch there. This is all new. So it's good to see that it has recovered. It's a really small pot. I pretty much water this every single day. You know, plus it's kind of tall, so the water really drains quite fast right through. So you gotta keep up the watering. But yeah, it has been growing well. This is on the windows well all the time. Even in the back, there's a branch there. So I'm really glad to see this recover, and you know, looking forward to having this grow really nicely comes next year. I'm trying to develop this as either a cascade or a semi-cascade. So you know, I want this to go down more, but you know, semi-cascade's okay. I don't have an exact direction at this point, but it's somewhere that's not straight up. Okay, so that's it for this. All right, so this is the last tree that we're going to look at today. This is the Jade that I got from Connor as a cutting, and the original tree is obviously massive, much bigger than this, because this is the cutting, and this thing is like, I don't know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick. It has been growing quite well, actually. I leave it near the window, and the Jade, it doesn't require too much light, is what I find. I can put it, you know, in the artificial growing light. It grows fine, and just near the window, it grows fine as well. So today, I'm not doing much with it. I do want to take care of this stump here eventually, but not today. I can't really cut it with this. I think I have to saw it off or something, because right now it's just like a big stump with nothing on it. Yeah, I have to get rid of it sometime soon. So all the branches, every single branch that you see here, they're all growing, and you know, this is coming out. I kind of trimmed this part so that's flatter. I trimmed that to be flatter. It's already calloused over and start to heal. You know, it'll eventually cover up. And the only thing I want to do today is that kind of prune some of this back at the top. It's hard to see from where you are, but there's about 4 branches coming out at the top. That's going in like everything is going outwards. I don't really want that many branches there at this time, so I need to kind of clean that up. And I'll try to give you a top view of what that looks like. Okay, so this is from the top, and what I'm talking about is right here. See how that one divides into kind of 4? There's 2 going to this side, 2 splits to this side. I guess that you can see that's the main branch there, and everything else is a branch aside from it. But you know, I'm thinking of to get some movement, so maybe I'll keep this one, which is going, you know, this is going up and then it kind of comes back a bit. I might keep that one. I'll get rid of this one, and maybe this one here, keeping the other 2. Okay, so I'll try to get rid of these branches. So I said to keep this branch here because my main trunk comes up and it comes up. So if I keep this one, it'll kind of turn towards this way, and it'll produce, you know, nice movement. So I'll keep that one. I'm going to keep. I'm going to get rid of this one here, which is the one that's kind of straight with comparison to the main trunk coming up. So I'll take that off first. And I said I was going to, so that's my main trunk direction. I said I was going to keep this branch here, but looking at it now, I'm not sure if I will, but let me just try to clean this cut up. There's still a leaf at the bottom there. I'm actually going to take that off. So right now it's got this branch coming to that side, which I think is okay. I'll keep that branch and see what happens. And then I'm going to get rid of this branch at the bottom. It's kind of going the same direction as the trunk, as my main leader here. It looks a bit weird. And there's a branch back here, so I think I'm going to take that one instead. I'm going to remove this. was going to remove. There's actually two things coming out of this area. It needs a cleanup in the future. I'll keep a mind on it. But yeah, so that'll come straight this way. I could actually use this small one here and then have it grow. That's not bad either, actually. Because now I'm looking at it, these two are actually kind of going the same direction. So I think I will keep this one instead and take this off. Yeah, and we'll let that grow and we'll see where that goes. I'll clean that up later on. And everything else is fine. I don't want to trim anything at the moment because you know, the trunk is quite thick. All the branches are quite thin compared to it. So which is why I'm going to leave it. I'll let it grow more and then, you know, trim it back eventually. So yeah, that's it for today. It's just a carousel of different trees I'm going through. And that's why I find winter that's what it's all about. Because I don't have that ideal condition of growing. I don't have a tent or, you know, super nice lights. It's just I'm relying on the windowsill plus a couple of cheaper lights, which does the job. It keeps the tree alive. It grows. It just doesn't grow that fast. So I'm basically just kind of maintaining the shape and just small trims there and here over this winter. And you know, that's why I probably don't have enough material to do a video every week. But that's okay because you know, that's what it's all about anyway. So yeah, that's it for this week. Hopefully you enjoy the trees. It's super cold outside, and so stay warm. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.